Access Fort Wayne offers reflections of our community. Production facilities provided by Access Fort Wayne are a service of the Allen County Public Library. The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting organizations. For more information about creating your own television program with Access Fort Wayne, call 421-1250.
Hello, and welcome to our show, The American Veteran. I'm Dale Parrish, your host. Carl Fowler is our co-host. And joining us today is Gerard Willis. But our guest today is Dana Failor. Dana is a Vietnam veteran, Navy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
When did you join the Navy?
I entered the Navy on September 29th, 1965, and I left active duty on September 24th, 1969.
4 years. 4 years. Did you take your basic up here at Great Lakes, I'm assuming?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And how long is that?
That was 7 weeks.
7.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your MOS?
Radarman.
Radarman, yeah. Mm-hmm. What was your first assignment then?
USS Greenwich Bay out of Norfolk, Virginia.
And what kind of a ship is that?
It's a small seaplane tender from World War II. It's painted white, trimmed in black with fringe and lace around the quarterdeck areas. It served as command flagship for the Middle East forces. That meant that it had a 2-star admiral on board.
Oh, I see. Spit and polish, I take it.
Spit and polish, yes. It was a showboat.
Is this a picture of it right here?
That's it.
Okay. I don't know if they got it or not. Mm-hmm. Was that an enjoyable tour?
It was interesting. I went on the way out of the Middle East. We had Liberty ports in Genoa, Italy, Palma, Spain, and Nice, France for R&R. And in the Middle East, we visited ports of call to do with sheiks and shahs who controlled the oil in the Persian Gulf. And we were there to protect our interest in the oil. We took them out, gave them a party, talked to them about their oil, and made contracts with them to send oil to us in the U.S.
Oh, that's good, yeah. That was a pretty small ship.
Yes.
Did a lot of bobbing around.
Definitely did. It was only 311 feet long by 42 feet wide.
Yeah. How many, what was the crew on the tender?
Including the Admiral, 240.
240.
Well, you cruised what? The Mediterranean then, or?
Mediterranean, and we went through the Suez Canal, through the Red Sea, and around into the Persian Gulf.
Okay, yeah.
You was radarman on that ship.
Yes.
You was looking out for what?
Ships, so we wouldn't run over them or have crashes.
There's not too many you'd run over with a small ship like that, is there?
Well, there's fishing boats to be concerned with.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
You have to watch for planes also, or?
No, we didn't watch for planes much. There wasn't too much air traffic in the Middle East.
I see. Okay. How long was you on this ship?
I was on that ship for 8 months.
Okay.
You got your sea legs then.
Got my sea legs, yes.
Okay.
Really, what is a seaplane tender?
Well, during World War II, at the end of the war, this ship was built and went into commission, and it serviced small seaplanes. Small seaplanes would fly up to it, and they'd put a boom out, a long wooden boom,
Yeah.
perpendicular to the ship, and the plane would tie up there, and then it would receive service.
Fuel and anything else they needed.
Fuel and mechanical things, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe give them a meal.
Yes, bring them on board and take them down the mess decks and feed them.
Okay, because they was flying submarine patrol and so forth.
Right, they were.
Mm-hmm.
That was before I was on board.
Okay. Those are big seaplanes, and 2 and 4 engine,
Yes.
mostly propeller driven.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that was important duty because I mean they had to be serviced. There was no question about that. They couldn't keep going.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you serviced them, mostly you was close to land, though, right? Or was you out on the ocean?
No, mostly close to land.
Mostly close to land. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What kind of armament did it have?
We had 2 40-millimeter pom-poms that shoot like this, boom, boom, boom,
Bofors.
boom. Huh?
Bofors guns.
Is that what they're called?
They're Bofors, yeah. 40 millimeter, yeah.
Yeah. And we had one set on the port side and one set on the starboard side. And then up front, up on the forecastle, we had a 5-inch gun.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the extent of our armament.
Well, normally you didn't need armament because generally you wasn't in harm's way, was you?
No. We practiced out in the open ocean on the way over, across the Atlantic. But
Okay.
we were not in harm's way. It was a peacekeeping mission mainly,
Right.
oil.
Okay.
Well, those 40 millimeter, are they for other ships or for planes?
Oh,
or?
just about all the Navy ships have these Bofors. Call them ACAC guns.
Yeah.
There are 2 of them mounted side by side, and they fire this way, and they feed clips down into them. So there were 3 shells, I think, in a clip.
Mm-hmm.
The shells are about like that,
Yeah.
about that long. They push them down in, and they're very effective for airplanes in close range. And like you said, just about every ship's got them, regardless of whether it's a attack ship or.
But they could use them for other ships, or some plane or some small ship tried to terrorists. You know, like they did that one ship where they blew a hole in the side of it.
Oh, sure. They patrolled offshore over in Vietnam and even in Korea, and they could fire the 40s on to shore, hit targets on shore. So, yeah, they can bring them right down and fire them.
Good.
Just like a regular cannon.
Did you put in to get off of that ship then?
No,
transfer?
when we got back to Norfolk, it was decommissioned. We went to Portsmouth, and they had a decommissioning ceremony, and they decommissioned it and put it in the mothballs.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go to my school, my radar school, and my electronics school in Great Lakes next.
Oh, I see. Is that still in mothballs, or has it been destroyed? Do you know?
I do not know.
Yeah.
So when you got back, they sent you back to school to upgrade you a little bit on modern techniques. Is that it, or what?
Right, that's it. Get me ready for the USS Ranger.
Okay.
That's where you went next then.
That's where I went next. Yeah.
Okay. Now you was below the water line.
No,
You was above the water line.
above the waterline. One deck below the main deck.
Oh, well, you was up there riding in pretty good shape then.
Yeah.
Was you on the interior of the ship, or was you out the outer edge where you had a view?
Interior of the ship.
It was interior.
Hmm.
Couldn't see
Okay.
anything but your radar then.
That's it. We saw surface and air radar. That's what we saw. And we had radio nets where we would put on a headset and talk to other ships that belonged to us, U.S. ships.
Okay. So you communicated if there's any threats or anything
Right.
that you wanted them to know, you told them, and if they had something they wanted you to know, they tell you.
Right. We had a closed circuit radio net called Romeo 8, and the captains could talk to each other on these radio nets, and the enemy could not hear them talk. They talked plain language, not in code like we did. They talked plain language.
Huh. And what did they call that?
Romeo 8.
Romeo 8. That's a picture of the ship there. I'm taking it. I don't know if Rick can get a shot of that or not. What type of plane did that ship have?
A6s and F4 Phantoms and Skyhawks and AWACS and
Okay.
helicopters and C2s.
So you were more of a defensive ship than you was an attack ship.
No, we were an attack ship.
You were an attack ship.
Yes, we were.
Okay.
We ran lots of missions over North Vietnam.
Okay. Stay out at sea, or you come in close?
We would come in to within 25 miles.
That's close.
It's close, and we'd launch our attack aircraft from that point. Then we'd turn around and head back into the wind so that we could
You'll
recover our aircraft.
Yes. Okay.
Now these planes, were they all fighter bombers or what were they? I don't know one plane from another.
Well, the A6s carried bombs, the F4s carried bombs, the Skyhawk carried a single bomb. It carried a 500-pound bomb. It was a one pilot aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
The other planes we're talking about had two pilots, a pilot and an RIO, radar intercept officer.
And they sat side by side
Oh yeah.
on the
In the A6,
A6, yes.
in the Phantom, they sat front and back of each other.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that was a good complement of planes. So it had how many people on board?
5,280.
That's like a floating city, isn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We had things like mess decks, and we had stores we could go to shop. It's like being in a floating mall.
But that was good duty.
It was good duty, yes. You go out to sea for 35 days, and then come back in, you'd have plenty of money on the books to go on liberty with.
Right.
And that was always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
We even had a library on board.
Okay, so lots of reading in your spare time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We had a closed circuit TV where we watched movies in our compartments, in our berthing compartments.
Did you have active drills when you were at sea, and launch
Yeah.
planes and recover them and so forth?
Yes, we had that. We had drills.
Okay, keep your proficiency up, right?
Right, right.
Okay.
Slept in good clean sheets. Didn't have to lay in the mud.
That's true.
I guess that's why you joined the Navy.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It was the best 4 years of my life being in the Navy.
You learned a lot, didn't you?
I learned a lot. I grew up in the Navy.
Okay. Now, did any of the Navy carry over into your civilian life?
It gave me the discipline that I required to be in civilian life.
But you didn't stay with electronics or anything?
No, I did not stay with that.
Okay.
No. Eventually, when I was about 35, I started my own business. I was in landscaping. I was a landscaping contractor with my own business.
Okay. I'd like to see a little bit of land instead of watching the waves.
Right.
A little change.
A little change, yeah.
Yeah.
I toned it down to a speedboat.
Okay. Now, did your ship lose any planes while they was there?
Yes, we lost 2 planes over North Vietnam.
And the pilots?
We lost 2 pilots. The other 2 we were able to recover. They managed to get their plane upside down and fly it back over the water and eject it out. And our helicopters picked them up.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Must have been a...
Well, they know when they're going down, generally. They put out that distress call.
Yeah.
Those choppers get there as quick as they can.
Yeah, they do.
But I wonder why upside down.
Well, that's the way you can get out of the plane easier.
Easier, and plus they were damaged. They couldn't fly upright. I forget what, I don't know enough about an aircraft to tell you what it was. Flaps probably were damaged, and they couldn't fly upright. They had to fly upside down.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice feeling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I see there was quite a few helicopters on there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like about 15 of them.
Anytime there are jets in the air, planes in the air, prop planes or jets, there are helicopters in the air, flying recovery missions.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. We lost more planes and pilots through accidents than we did to the war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I imagine some of the cases they might have got low on fuel or other things happened to them, like you say, flak. North Koreans were very well known as anti-aircraft gunners. As a plane come over, everybody shoot at it, whether you had a rifle or a pistol or anti-aircraft gun or machine gun or what. They all fired at the airplanes that come over. Yep.
Did you get to fly in any of the planes?
I rode the COD. Besides radar, I had another job on the Ranger. I was a ship's master at arms. I had ship's police force. And my job was to fly with prisoners in a C-2 aircraft, that's a twin prop aircraft, over to Saigon, take a ride that was waiting for us to the Marine Red Line brig, drop the prisoner off, come back to my C-2 and fly back to the ship. And then when his time was up, serving time behind bars was up, I would go over and get him and bring him back to the ship.
That probably didn't happen too often, I wouldn't think.
More often than you think. You get out to sea like that, some of them crack.
Yeah. Okay.
They can't handle it. So they issued me a 45 and 2 clips and a billy club and handcuffs. That's how I transported them. I handcuffed them behind their backs. So I didn't have any trouble out of them.
A C-2, you said. How many passengers? Is that a pretty good sized plane, or passenger-wise?
10 passengers and the mail.
How many?
10 passengers and the mail.
Okay.
That would usually take off from land, fly out to the carriers and do whatever it did. Sometimes take replacement seamen out. If somebody got sick or something, they would take a replacement out for them.
Yeah.
Somebody was sick and they had to go to shore, so it was a shuttle back and forth between the carriers. And
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yes.
And you had how many of those on the ship?
4.
4 of them. They're a pretty noisy place to be when they're in business.
Definitely noisy. We slept right underneath them,
Did you?
right underneath the flight decks where we slept. And you can hear the arresting gear. That's the gear that the aircraft catches coming in,
the cable.
cable. And you could hear it whine. And you could hear the jet engines wind down. Well, you get used to it so you could sleep through it.
Yeah. Sure.
The Ranger, I'm a member of the USS Ranger Association. We have 2,050 members. And every year we get together in one U.S. city for a reunion. This year it was St. Louis. Next year it's Jacksonville, Florida.
I see.
And the purpose of the association was to save the Ranger, make I can't think here.
Want to make a memorial out of it? Or?
Yeah, make a memorial out of it, but also for classrooms, for teaching people in. And we had a plan to tow it down. The engines were out of it, the fuel was out of it, to tow it down the Columbia River to Portland, Oregon. And they had a place for us there. But the problem was there was a railroad bridge in the way.
Yeah.
And our mast would not clear the bridge. So the Navy took control back of the Ranger, and they're going to scrap it.
Well, that's too bad.
Yes,
It was built in the mid 50s, I believe.
that's correct.
Yeah. And retired in about 93.
That's right around there.
Yeah. The members of the organization, that's from World War II right up to when they retired the ship, I'm assuming. The members of your group.
Right.
Yeah.
Just be anybody that served on board, right?
Anybody served on board can be a member as long as they pay their dues.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's too bad they couldn't dismantle that mast and get it under the bridge, but
And I don't know why they couldn't. It's pretty big.
well, it's big, but it would be worth the effort. But you'd have to find somebody to pay for it. That's the problem.
The base of the mast would go from about where you're sitting to that wall.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's quite sizable.
Yeah.
they take a good sized crane and everything to
Yeah,
do
it
that
would.
job.
So to dismantle it, would they take it out to the middle of the ocean and just blow it up, or would they take it apart and just use the parts for it?
They'd scrap it, sell it for scrap metal.
Okay.
Or take it out and sink it and use it for a coral reef.
Right.
You might be driving part of it.
Yeah.
Are they going to let you go to the decommissioning ceremony?
It was decommissioned in '93.
I mean, I'm sorry, not the decommissioning ceremony. When they go to destroy it, whatever they're going to do, either blow it up or.
We haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Okay. Will they notify you when they make a decision on what they're going to do?
Yes, the association will notify us. We get a paper every 3 times a year. We get an alumni association paper in the mail.
Okay.
No, that's how they'll notify us.
Okay.
Well, what armament does it have, other than the planes?
None.
None,
They took the guns off of it a long time ago,
did they?
before they ever went to Vietnam.
I understood that was about the first carrier that had an angled deck on it.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
At that time, that was something new, and it really improved their performance.
Well, it looks like it would.
Because they could take off and land just about the same time, because they catapult them off.
Right, catapult 2 aircraft off the angle deck and recover 2 on the straight deck. 1, take it off the cable, rewind the cable, and bring the second one in behind it.
Yeah. So that's pretty rapid deployment and recovery.
Right,
And
and you could launch 4 at once. 4 aircraft, 2 off the angle deck and 2 off the main deck.
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, and the planes are kept down below. They could bring them
They bring them up on an elevator.
fast enough to keep them moving, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
that's why I said this picture was in port, because normally those planes wouldn't be on the deck. They
Yeah,
would
sure,
be down below. But he's saying they can launch 2 off of catapults here and 2 off of catapults here.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good.
It
Speedy.
takes- They're steam catapults. It takes 200 gallons of fresh water converted to steam to launch 1 aircraft.
Yeah.
Fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got to generate lots of heat from boilers someplace.
Well, we had seawater converters on board. We
Yeah.
showered with fresh water. We drank fresh water that was made on board the ship. Cooked in fresh water.
Flushed with seawater.
Flush with seawater, yes. Yes.
Did fresh water have a strange taste to it or anything?
It tasted slightly salty.
Did it? Mm-hmm. And chlorine or?
It couldn't taste chlorine, just tasted the salt.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, though.
Get used to it, huh?
Get used to it, yeah.
Just so you don't get to preferring it and re-up.
I just about re-upped. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you
some-
had good duty, so
Yeah, that's
you know,
what I
why
was
not?
going to say. Sound like you had good duty.
Right. Well, what kept me from re-upping was I had a re-enlistment bonus coming of $10,000. But they wanted to give it to me twice a year for 10 years. I said, no, I want it all at once. They said, what for? I said, so I can invest it. I can't invest it in pieces.
No.
They said, no, twice a year. I said, well, forget it then. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple of minutes yet. Dana, what would you like to close with? Would you recommend anybody? I take it you'd recommend the Navy to anybody.
Yeah, I would. I'd recommend the Navy to anybody who wanted to go in the service.
Yeah. Now they got a lot of women going in.
Yeah, they do. I don't know what that's like. They didn't have women in the Navy when I was in.
No.
I'm sure that presents its own problems.
I'm sure it does. Sure it does. Any of those planes that came back, any of them wrecked landing?
Yes. We had accidents upon landing. For example, one particular that I remember, the pilot caught the cable, but the cable broke.
Oh, wow.
And he went off the angle deck and he punched out.
Punched out.
He made-
Ejected?
Ejected.
Okay.
We use the term punched out, ejected.
Yeah.
But he was too low, and when he hit the water, he died.
Oh.
Well, salt water is like cement.
Yes, he was high enough that it was like cement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was up off the water on the deck about 80 feet, and then he ejected up about 200 feet. So he had a 280-foot fall. To
Wow. Dana, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
It's a pleasure being here. I'm glad you invited me.
Well, we're glad anyway.
Dan,
Yeah.
Carl,
thank you for your service. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it
you.
very much.
you're welcome.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, we're on every Friday evening at 7 p.m. And remember also that freedom is not free. So if you see a veteran or someone